Hi everybody, Dr. Sally J. Rundle here. I have a strategy for you from my book More Energy, More You, and it comes from the Physical Nourishes section and it's called Touching Moments. When I wrote this strategy, the world was in a very different place than it is today. So what I've done is kind of taken the core of the strategy and I've tweaked and adjusted it to make it more relevant to what's happening in our lives. The strategy was designed to evoke the release of the body's natural pleasure hormones. It's also designed to help lift our spirits, give us a sense of deep connection, and also a feeling of contentment. Friendly physical touch, whether it's in the form of a hug, pat on the back, touch of the arm, or even a handshake, can evoke an instant positive impact on the body. That's because it activates the reward centers in the brain, and it doesn't matter whether you're initiating or receiving it has the same positive impact. Isn't it great that we can do something that makes us feel good, but also can make someone else feel good? In this world of social isolation and social distancing, many of us are starting to feel the effects of the lack of physical touch, become accustomed to having it as part of our kind of everyday existence. And that's one of the things that has been severely retracted and diminished in our world. For many of us, we're kind of feeling that sense of maybe more isolation or even disconnection. So why is physical touch so important to us? What matters? How does it work? Professor Dachner Keltner, he's a professor of psychology at the University of California, Berkeley, and science of touch is one of his areas of expertise. And what he says is that touch is the language of connection. It's kind of fundamental to who we are as human beings. And many of us might not realize how important it is to both our physical and our psychological well-being. Now, in our brains, there's a big part of the brain that's dedicated to making sense of touch and processing touch. And also the skin has billions of cells and they're very touch sensitive. And the skin is really connected to our immunity. So when we're touched or we're activating touch, what happens is that the nervous system is activated in a way that actually increases our immunity, improves our digestion, and helps us sleep better. And we also have the release of a hormone called oxytocin, sometimes called the pleasure or the hug hormone. It actually reduces stress, the impact of stress, and reduces cortisol in the body and increases immunity. So when we're having touch deprivation, or as a friend of mine said last night, she's got skin hunger because she's not been touched, what happens is we're not getting some of these natural benefits that touch brings to us. Now, is there a substitute? Is there an alternative to touch? Well, there's not actually a real, absolute substitute to touch. However, there are some alternatives. One of the things doing it online, because that's kind of where we are right now, dancing, singing, doing a yoga class or a weights class where we're kind of moving together activates that sense of connection and also gets, these positive pleasure hormones to be released in the body. But the big one, which surprised me when I was doing some research for this video, is dance. Dance is the thing, everybody. What happens when we dance, and we kind of know this, don't we? Like I'm moving, you're moving, and we're moving together and we're creating that sense of connection without actually physically touching each other. And the body starts to release all these feel-good hormones. So there's this big movement that's happening during this social isolation time, and it's called Daybreaker. And around the world in different cities, you can sign up for a ticket, and it doesn't cost very much, and you can get online and dance with other people. Isn't that a great idea? Or alternatively, you find a dance buddy in your group, and I've got one in mind, and you put some cool music on and you get them on Zoom and you have a really good bop together and get those pleasure hormones happening. The other thing you can do is give yourself an energy hug. And now the way this works is you put your left hand around your right arm. I had to think about that for a minute. Yeah, your left hand around your right arm, just above your elbow like that, and just gently grip it. Then take your right hand and put it around your rib cage. So you're kind of resting like this with your arms crossed. And you take 3 deep breaths. Now, what this is doing, this is based on an energy technique. You're soothing down the part of the system that activates when we're stressed, and you're strengthening up the part of the system, your energy system, which evokes joy and pleasure. Doesn't that sound good? So that's why you kind of soothe it down and boost it up, and you just sit there and give yourself a hug. And you may find that you're actually doing this without even really being conscious of it, because intuitively we know how to do a lot of these things. So here's some options for you. Hop online, do a yoga class, join in some singing, or get into a dance group, or give yourself an energy hug. And then we'll just wait till we can all give each other a real hug again. I'm really looking forward to that. So take care of yourself, find some touching moments for yourself. Lots of love to you and your family. Take care of you and your gorgeous energy. Thanks, everyone.